A woman loved by her community is found dead following a fire in Martin County. Plus, a manhunt continues for at least 2 suspects this morning in connection with the shooting that left a Kentucky police officer injured. And after a controversial education bill is passed by both houses in the West Virginia legislature, teachers are going on strike.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:30 on Tuesday, February the 19th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News this morning. Well, we got out of yesterday without rain, and we'll go most of today without rain too, but we're still not out of the woods yet. Brandon, what are we looking at on this Tuesday?
Well, dry to start, dry to basically go through the afternoon, and maybe some clearing early this morning. Maybe even see the moon in some locations. Let's take a look at the camera network first outside WYMT this morning. All quiet here in Hazard. No rain to speak of over Whitesburg as well. A nice start to the day, but it is chilly out there. Temperatures in the 20s and low 30s. 32 in Hazard is the warmest spot in the region. Look toward, I see a lot of 27s around there. 27 Logan, Ashland, Moorhead. That's our cool spots this morning, unless you count Lexington at 24. We're supposed to be close to 49 today. 42 about the best we'll get. 74 the record back in 2018. So 1 year ago today, we were in the 70s. How crazy is that? Out the door forecast, we are going to see temperatures slowly climb today again. A few clouds maybe around early this morning, and again, a few breaks in the clouds be around early this morning, but those clouds will increase along with the rain chances as we head deeper into the evening. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
All righty, Brandon, we'll be back with you. Well, a small community in Martin County is in mourning. A house fire in Martin County took the life of 70-year-old Kathy Aileen Runyon early Monday morning. Family members say she had a loving heart and cared for many. Neighbor Barbie Ann Maynard called 911 after she saw smoke coming from Runyon's home. She says Runyon treated everyone she met like family.
Our community is so tight-knit that it's more like one big family. So it feels like our whole family is in mourning right now.
Runyon's body will be sent to Frankfort for an autopsy. Kentucky State Police and the fire marshal are investigating. Three children and a woman were found shot to death on a property in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. The local sheriff says the children were elementary school aged and younger. There's no word yet on the relationships between the victims. The sheriff says investigators are still working to confirm the identity of those involved. Police say there's no ongoing threat to the public, and investigators do not believe a gunman is at large. 3 people were found dead inside a home in Porter Branch, California Monday. A shooting was reported just before 4 p.m. there. Los Angeles police responded to the home, which is in the gated community. They knocked on the door of the home, but no one answered, so they made entry and found the bodies. No further information was immediately available. And 4 people are behind bars, and police are looking for at least 2 more in connection with the shooting that left a Hopkinsville police officer injured. It happened early yesterday morning after police got a complaint about a robbery at a Walmart. During the investigation and a chase of one of the suspects, Officer Jeremy Davidson was shot in the arm and in the head. He was taken to a local hospital and is in stable condition this morning. To West Virginia now, where teachers in all but one of the state's counties are on strike this morning. The West Virginia Teachers Union called for the strike over an education bill that they view as retaliation for a 9-day walkout last year. Fred Albert, president of American Federation of Teachers in West Virginia, said educators felt they had no other option. One parent says they completely support the decision.
We support our teachers 100%. If they're not for it, they're not ready to go back to work. My kids won't go back to school, and that's just how it is. And unfortunately, if I have to take them and I have to educate them myself, I will.
Now, Putnam County is the only county that will be in session this morning. While the bill has went through both houses, revisions are still being made. No word on how long the strike will last. Now, as we told you yesterday morning, millions of dollars are heading to Logan County schools next year, and officials are not raising taxes. Every 5 years, the county votes on whether to receive the levy, and this time around, the levy will generate about $9 million per year. The funding will cover things like educational supplies, construction, salaries, and what Logan County educators and parents say is most important, safety and security. It's official, alcohol sales will now be allowed within the hazard city limits on Sundays. The measure will not kick in immediately, and restaurants and stores will have to get the proper permits. WYMT's Justin Case went to the City Commission last night and talked to people on both sides of the issue.
Some local restaurant owners say they would likely make more money if they could sell alcohol on Sundays.
I know a lot of people go out of town to Pikeville and different places and watch games and races and things so they can eat and drink. And I'm not even 100% sure if we would even offer the Sunday alcohol sales. We're still talking about whether or not, we even want to do that.
The new ordinance now allows alcohol sales from 1 in the afternoon until midnight. Some at the meeting Monday feel Sundays should be preserved to worship God.
If they go to church, how can they look their pastors in the eye saying, I voted for this?
Others say they go out to eat with their families after church right around the time alcohol sales will be allowed.
It's your church crowd on Sunday. And so now the concern will be if we go out and take our children, that there's going to be people in there drinking that might get loud, it might get out of hand.
Alcohol sales on Sundays will be taxed the same way it is other days of the week at 3%. City officials say that's something that's helped other cities like Pikeville, London, and Corbin.
The first year they made an extra $170,000 and it's gone up for the last 7. And Pikeville didn't have a figure, but the city manager said it's definitely a bump. And, and then there's stipulations on how you can spend the ABC money, but mainly it's on law enforcement.
Businesses and retail stores do not have to apply for the permit if they do not want to sell alcohol on Sundays.
Now, all city commissioners, including the mayor, voted in favor of the proposal. Now, the only one who abstained from voting was Susan Brotherton because she owns a business that sells alcohol. Perry County officials say they will now bring the issue up on a county-wide level so businesses who sell alcohol outside city limits will not be at a disadvantage. She was shot 12 times last September by a gunman on a rampage at a bank in Cincinnati. Not only did Whitney Austin survive, the Louisville native has since become a strong voice against gun violence. Austin was one of 4 victims in the shooting. The other 3 died. She is now pushing state lawmakers here in Kentucky to pass extreme risk protection orders or red flag laws.
We feel very strongly that there is a way to reduce the number of gun deaths and do it in a bipartisan way.
13 states already have them, 8 of those coming after the Parkland, Florida school shooting. Other states report red flag laws have reduced the number of suicides. Well, tax season is in full swing, and apparently many are not happy with their early returns. Refunds are shrinking, and some folks even owe the IRS money. Investigate TV's Rachel DePoma takes a closer.
Like it or not, tax season is upon us, and this is the first time we are all filing under the most sweeping changes to the tax code in 30 years. From lower tax brackets to higher standard deductions. In this Watching Your Wallet, we get answers from our partners at NerdWallet so you know what to expect as you tackle your taxes.
Now for the fun part. Oh, that'll work.
Just call Ron McKay the Bug Dude. He's been squeezing into crawl spaces for nearly 40 years, tackling it all.
Pest control, people hate bugs, so that's just year round.
13 years ago, he moved his family to Virginia and opened his own extermination business. He saves just about every receipt.
Different receipts for different things I buy and truck costs.
So when it comes time to file his taxes, this small business owner is ready.
Numbers are not what I'm good at. That's not my thing. I'm into pesticides and killing things and molds and fungus.
He leaves the taxes to a professional. But this year, he's got questions.
Me personally is what I'm really concerned with. Where's it going to affect me?
Ron's talking about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed by Congress in 2017, and this year you will experience it as you file your tax returns.
Everybody's situation is different, so it's hard to generalize.
Kelsey Sheehy is a personal finance expert with the financial website NerdWallet. She says the biggest change is the standard deduction. It nearly doubles this year.
It's going to reduce people's taxable income.
Another change, more people may qualify for the child tax credit this year, which has doubled to
to $2,000. When it comes to your home, you can only write off the interest you paid up to $750,000 of mortgage debt instead of $1 million. If you have a student loan, there's no change. 5 to 9 college savings plans have been expanded.
You'll be able to pay tuition on private elementary school, middle school, and high school, which in the years past you haven't been able to do.
Is this first time going to be tricky for people or easy for people?
So it will be easier if you're just going to claim the standard deduction now instead of itemizing it.
In theory, more people will see lower tax bills, but your result still depends on a long list of factors.
Now, the deadline to file your taxes is April 15th. Well, the University of Kentucky is working to bridge the gap between pregnant women getting treatment for substance use disorder and continuing treatment after the baby is born. Pathways Beyond Birth program at UK is a treatment center for women after they have their babies. In the past, there was a gap in treatment for women after they gave birth, many times leading them back to drugs. This center is made to make sure new moms stay on track. We will have more on this story in our 6:30 half hour. Well, coming up on Mountain News this morning, we look back at the life of the World War II veteran captured after the war in an iconic photo.
The forecast brings back the rain chances tonight, and we could see quite a bit in the next several days. I'll break down the threats in about 7 minutes.